special guest in from KSDK, meteorologist Tracy Hinson. What's up, Tracy? How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good.
You've made your way here, Travis. You've got a lot of questions regarding weather.
Lots of questions about weather. Like, why? Why is weather in St. Louis weather?
We have such special weather, and that's part of the reason I'm here. It really is.
It's like the prime choice. Yeah, investigative crime reporters and meteorologists.
And meteorologists.
Yeah, that's how it works.
We got those covered for
Yeah.
sure.
That makes sense.
Sure. We sure do.
Tracy can be seen on KSDK, as we mentioned. We were curious too. We want to get some background on you. So we live here in St. Louis. We always think it's interesting, and maybe a little bit we take a negative approach to this sometime. How the heck do you end up in St. Louis? Where did you come from? We got to knock this out and figure out what brought you here.
I'm from the Silicon Valley in California, a town called Sunnyvale, which whenever I say it, people think I'm making it up.
Yeah.
But no, Sunnyvale is a place,
All right.
and it's usually sunny. And when you're a meteorologist, yeah,
Appreciate
it
that.
really is. It really is nice. It's perfect weather all the time. And when you're a meteorologist and you study thunderstorms and tornadoes and winter weather in school, and I read about it in books. I'm like, oh, what is this weather that we speak of? So you move around when you're a meteorologist in the news business, and I spent some time in Grand Rapids, Michigan, learned to love winter there.
Oh boy.
Spent a little time in Portland, realized that they didn't have enough weather. So now I'm here in St. Louis because we have a little bit of winter. We have some big thunderstorms.
Yes.
It's perfect.
What was your moment? What was your baptism? Was there a weather moment so far this year when you arrived in St. Louis when you're like, oh, so this is what everybody was talking about? Do you recall that?
Oh, well, everyone warned me about how bad the summers were.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
The
brutal.
summer will definitely do it.
And I have never walked out of a building and just started sweating.
Yes.
Ever.
there it is.
Never in my whole
There it
life
is.
has that ever happened.
What a world you grew up in. Like
Well,
Northern
nice.
California. Like, oh
Must've
my
been really
God.
nice.
I didn't know you could do that without going to a gym or something like that.
It's just like, no, you're just living in it.
You're just living
Full
in it.
time, that's how it works.
Or people say, it's like you're swimming, it's so thick, the air is so thick. I didn't realize that phenomena until summer here in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Oh,
People-
welcome.
Yeah.
No kidding. So interesting. So I find that to be interesting about the media business. You constantly want to, until maybe you find that perfect job or like that right fit for the time in your career. But you guys are expected right out of college too, and especially even where you grew up. I can't imagine how lowball they throw a salary at a brand new meteorologist or even just reporter personality. So they expect you to go to this huge market, maybe live with 5 other people, and then live on nothing, and then eventually you're basically just going to move on. Eventually,
Yeah.
like they're not planning on you moving up throughout that. But
Right.
I guess is it stressful in the moving up the ladder section of media?
When I first started, I was fresh out of school, I was really worried about the next job. And, I wasn't worried so much about what I was going to make. I was just worried about getting that first job. Then I was worried about, okay, well, it's a 2-year contract. When do I need to start looking for a job? What if they, will they re-up my contract? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And then now, I'm 6 years down the line in the business. I'm like, it'll be fine. It all works out. If I don't have a job for a month, I don't have a job for a month.
Yeah,
So.
that makes sense. In regards to, I guess, your time in St. Louis so far, the people, I'm sure you have a lot of interaction. Even like in St. Louis, I think people will give people space, but you're on TV. There's still a big TV market. Have you had any awkward moments or anything where it's like, it's almost, I won't call it starstruck, it's just people maybe overstep a little bit. Like I've seen it happen even with you, and you're very, very minimal, tiny
You don't have to go that small.
influence sphere that you have in St. Louis, Travis.
Go that far.
People just yell, see him, they'll scream, "Hey, Travis!" across the street. Do you have those moments in St. Louis a little bit, or are people behaving?
I do. I used to think that sometimes people were staring at me because they might have recognized me from TV, and a lot of times then I just realized I have dirt or something on my face from the
Oh,
farm.
good.
That happens, something really embarrassing, usually from the farm. It's like maybe being covered in horsehair or something like that. But when people do, and they always say, they'll tell me, oh, well, you didn't get it right this week. And I'm like, were you watching? Because I did. Because I actually nailed the forecast this weekend.
Here we
And
go.
for whatever reason,
You should tell people that.
when
Yeah,
people
for sure.
meet the weather people, they'll usually tell us one of two things. We get it wrong, or, oh, it'd be so nice to work a job where I'm wrong 50% of the time and still get paid. That old thing. But,
know.
and if people tell me that I got it wrong, I'm like, nope. No, I didn't. I got it right. Or I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I did. It was really hard.
That's
it was
a
a really
tough
hard forecast. Or I get, you're so much smaller in person. I go, what is that supposed to mean?
What do you
Am I
expect?
short?
Like, what do
Am I
you
bigger?
want?
I don't know what they mean.
That is strange, yeah, that people, because they see you or they listen to you or they read your stuff and they equate that with like, hey, I know them. No, you don't know them. And you could be some giant dude just saying that to you and just it gets a little awkward, I'm sure.
You know, I don't mind people thinking they know me.
Yeah, that's cool.
I almost want to, and I haven't even talked to my fiance about it, so you guys are the first to know. I'm planning to live stream our wedding next year.
You're gonna live
because
stream your
we
wedding.
met.
Wait, you just made a wedding decision.
Tracy,
And
first
your
of all.
fiance
Yeah.
has no
He doesn't
clue
really know that.
this is
Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Well,
This is, hey,
Hey, guys.
Gardner, give the camera back to her. This is going. We're clipping
wait
this
a
to YouTube. This is going on.
We
Yeah.
met in
I'm going
Grand
to defend
Rapids,
this guy. I'm going to
He's-
defend
you
this
know
guy because
what?
if he
Gary
had
will be
done
fine.
this, if he had gone on the podcast and be like, my fiance, wife to be, doesn't know this, but
Right. We
I
never.
got pyro at the wedding. We're gonna
Yeah.
have pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
Like you would flip.
I looked into that,
Oh, my
actually.
goodness.
But
Listen, Tracy. We get. What's his name?
Gary Frank, and
Gary
he's a
Frank.
meteorologist
Gary,
in Michigan.
I got you. I'm gonna look out for you here, Gary. We're gonna make this right. We are gonna make this right. He's
He'll be
what
fine.
now?
He is a meteorologist too. He works for Fox 4 in Kansas City.
Oh,
but we
okay.
met in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So a lot of our viewers from Michigan really feel like they know us. And so I want to include them in our wedding
Okay.
because we met in Michigan on TV.
Here's the deal. This is a Midcoast studio. This is a media company. We have podcasts. We do events. All this stuff. I handle partnerships. I'm gonna need to get this sponsored for you because Michigan is not maybe what is it, Pure Michigan or something? That's like a
Pure
big thing.
Michigan.
Let's get Michigan Board of Tourism on board with this.
On board, they
You
like
are
it.
not going to
I
live
really
stream this
should be a
without proper
spokesperson for
monetization.
Michigan.
Yeah,
That's
this is
hilarious.
this is my main concern. Gary, I'm not as much worried about him now because I assume he's just gonna have to go along with it no matter what. But
He's
I'd like to
doing
get
most
this
things.
monetized. Yeah, we got to make that happen.
That is so great. That is
Interesting. So, you're
funny.
both meteorologists.
Yes, we are.
Okay, and
Nerds.
He's living in Kansas City currently.
He's in Kansas City, yes.
How does that work?
You know, it's not bad. My house is always clean, and he comes like every other week or so. I go visit him about once a month. I like it. It's,
Yeah.
you know, and
Cool.
it doesn't seem like long distance because we were long distance between Grand Rapids and Portland, Oregon, and that was very
Oh,
far.
nice. So yeah, you're
So
getting
3.5
closer.
hours, that's nothing.
Okay.
This is what it's like to actually have somebody you care about.
Oh,
Travis.
that is really. I've heard about it, and it looks fun.
Yeah. We'll quiz you on that in a
Sometimes
little
it's
bit.
fun.
What a poker face she's got. This is great. So wait, so we need to rewind back to this. So we'll get back to the fiance. You mentioned a farm.
Yes.
Let's well, let's
There
break
goes
this
Chris.
down.
Here
a
we
little
go.
bit.
Here we
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Horses.
I have an American quarter horse named Star. He is the true love of my life.
Okay.
I've
Now
had
I
him
see,
for
yeah.
I've had him for 12 years. And
Quarter horse is not a small horse typically, Travis. You're
Yeah.
gonna like that is one where I'd be like, okay, how's the mount and everything like that with the
So in street
we-
terms, that is the Escalade of horses.
it's up there.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
It's like the Mustang, the Ford
Ooh,
Mustang
the
of
Ford
horses. It's
Mustang,
just
okay.
a
See what
classic.
she did there?
It's
Yeah.
a classic.
She could have also went
breed
with
of
Bronco. Yeah, that would have worked
horse.
also.
Bronco, yeah,
Yeah.
Ford Bronco. That's good.
So how long have you rode horses?
I've been riding since I was 8,
That's
and
amazing.
I was a rodeo queen in California.
Shut up.
Yes.
This is so
I've got
fascinating
some
to me.
phenomenal pictures if you guys want to see
I
'em.
actually we're gonna need those. We'll work those in. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll go
That
ahead
is
and flash
phenomenal.
those
Oh,
How
yeah.
did you get
Yeah.
started with that?
So I went to a rodeo, and before I was riding like dressage and all the
Yeah,
fancy.
I stereotyped you a little bit. Whenever you said you had a horse, I immediately
thinking
pictured
jumping?
that. Yeah.
Sure, that makes sense. I did start in dressage. That's kind of what Silicon Valley people do.
Right.
And then I saw the rodeo queen at the Grand National Rodeo, and I said, "That's it. That is exactly what I want to do with horses."
That's fascinating.
So I was, you guys will like this. I was Miss Wine Country Rodeo. I represented Snappa
Okay.
and Sonoma.
Listen, now see that's great and that's a nice title, but you have to picture the next step, Travis, in the circuit of like, okay, now you move on to regionals and you have Miss Wine Country Rodeo going up against like Southern Alabama Rodeo and all that. So like, I would see you
And-
being ostracized by fellow rodeo queens from rural areas.
People in parades loved Miss Wine Country Rodeo. They loved it.
Really?
They loved it. Oh, yes.
Okay.
And then I was Miss California Rodeo, which was
Oh.
the largest rodeo in California.
See, that's how you have to pronounce it, rodeo.
It is a rodeo. It is 110 years old next year.
Congratulations
And so we
to
were
them.
founded by the Spaniards,
Oh.
which is why it's a rodeo. From
Oh,
rodear
of
to
course.
round up.
Of course.
There you go.
Now we know. You have to know that on the in the post rodeo interview.
Right.
You have to be able to shoot that off. People will
Yeah,
appreciate
you do.
that. Yeah.
That is intense.
You have to know this.
Yeah. That's media training times 10.
I
You
didn't
were
know
ready.
this was
You were ready for this before you even got out of the gate.
It's true.
Yeah. So okay, so you still have the horse and you
Of
ride
course
regularly.
I do. Yeah, about 6 days a week. I'm usually out there.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I
Oh
ride.
my goodness.
Sometimes I just brush him and.
That is, wait, this is awesome. I didn't know that.
He's a pet.
So you just go out there, like when you're done with work and your free time, you're out there with the horse.
Instead of going to the gym or I don't know what other people do in their free time, I go see my
First
horse.
of all,
is
I'm coming out with my
fascinating.
first ever young adult book, and it's going to be based on her life. And it's like you can be you can be a weather girl cowboy. Like that is something that everybody you would think people would make that up.
A lot of times people
pretty
think
amazing.
I'm making things up
That's
until
pretty
I show
amazing.
them pictures.
Yeah.
What a life. That's so much freedom.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
I think
jealous.
that-
No
yeah.
savings account because when you have a horse,
Have a horse.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
they take
That's a
all the
bad
bills.
news.
And a prairie dog, which I'm sure you've seen.
But you're the first person to count on if
Okay.
the apocalypse happens.
If
Like
you-
there's zombies, guys. You want somebody who knows how to ride a horses because the cars won't be available.
Did you?
And have a lot of preserved food, which I also have a lot of.
Okay, we're gonna find out she's a prepper next. That's gonna get
No,
a
I'm
little
not.
bit weird.
But I do love like mac and cheese and gushers and things that should last an eternity.
You have a mac and cheese website. What's going on here? This has been widely talked about, and it actually ties into some other stuff that we can talk about with you. But
You know,
mac and cheese, huh?
I love mac and cheese more than anything in the whole
Sorry,
world.
Gary. Sorry, Star.
Love
Yeah.
it. It's, I'll go, if I'm going to a restaurant and they're known, like say it's High Point, and they're known for their burgers,
Right.
okay? And I get there and they say, oh, our special today is mac and cheese. I'm not going to get the burger. I'm
Not
going to
gonna
get
be a
the mac
burger.
and cheese.
Okay.
And it fixes, or it doesn't even fix, it just helps any day. I could be
kinda-
having
she
a
kinda
bad
got a
day.
point. She
Mac
ain't
and
lying.
cheese helps.
She
Look
ain't
at this.
lying.
These
Mac
are.
and
We should
cheese
put that on a
hey,
T-shirt. I
hey.
think so.
That
It is the best.
And you mentioned you have a pet prairie dog. How does this happen?
His name is Herbie.
Okay, this is
And-
real. Do you know what a prairie dog
I
is,
don't know
Travis?
what a prairie dog.
It's a rodent that lives in the ground.
Okay.
It's like a squirrel. It's like a ground squirrel, but bigger.
Yeah, a little. He's if you've ever had a Chipotle burrito, he's about the size and weight of a Chipotle burrito.
So
And how did you
Chipotle.
domesticate a
Can I get a prairie dog to go?
Yeah.
I can do that.
I thought they were normal pets in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And the pet store had them down the street. What I didn't know is they only have them 2 months out of the year because they're gathered up by the Bureau of Land Management. They're like vacuumed out of
I was
holes
gonna
so that
say,
farmers don't,
yeah.
hurt them.
So
Oh.
horses don't crack their legs walking around. in
Exactly,
them.
or
Yeah.
cattle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, public enemy number one for my farmer friends in Texas is probably the black-tailed prairie dog, which I own one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I got
Does it
him.
make a
and-
decent pet?
I love him.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of bites. I wouldn't say they're for everyone, but
She's like holds her hand out. There's half a pinky missing. Yeah.
Oh,
that's Herbie.
That's from your rodent. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a little scar. I don't know,
Okay.
an inch scar from him. But he's very cute. He's very cuddly. He goes for walks. I bring him out for walks.
Now listen. I'm warning you. You probably think about this. If you have a horse and a dog,
Cat.
You have a cat. So if you're going to be out walking that prairie dog, please make sure you have hawk coverage. If I read
I've always
that you
been
lose your
scared of
pet
that.
prairie dog to a hawk swooping in, that's going to be bad and viral in a really bad way.
Speaking of the hawks, so you're in Michigan, okay?
Yeah.
So I've heard the term that's been shared with me when there's a sharp wind chill. It's called the hawk. Did you hear this term while you were in
I
Michigan?
didn't, but I love that.
Yeah, it's a Chicago term.
It's a Chicago
Chicagoans
term.
use because they talk about the wind when it comes off Lake Michigan and how
Sure.
it just swoops through the skyscrapers,
Yes.
and it feels like a hawk, like the claw, like it's on your neck, and it's so
Yo,
sharp and cold it
it's
goes down your
cold.
back. And that's what I was curious
And
if you heard it.
punishing.
Yeah, if you heard
no,
the term, the hawk. Okay.
I haven't. But I
Alright.
like it.
Yeah,
it's-
I'm
it's
gonna
real.
use
You
it.
should.
Next.
Yes.
Ooh, yes, doing
Can we
doing that.
can we
the
get
hawk,
like a
oh!
can we get a little finger signal or something if you use the hawk on the
Like,
Like,
hey,
what
guys.
do they do?
Trap-
Like,
The wind chill.
Ah!
Do that, man.
All right, all right, let's test it out. All right, but it's a weird shot. You would have the full shot going. All right, so Gardner, you want to throw to Tracy?
Can I be? I want to be Rennie real quick.
Okay,
and
you
then
be
I'll
Rennie and throw it to
you.
Tracy.
Because Rennie
Yeah.
said something really cool, like,
All right.
"Boy, I tell you."
It needs to be motivating
Okay.
and maybe involve
Okay,
a
I'm gonna do my
cheeseburger of
best,
some
Rennie,
sort.
not.
And a cheeseburger, yeah, it's
I'll
ready
tell you
now.
what, that White Castle's grave case. amazing. Hey, you know what's also amazing? That wind chill coming down the 40 this weekend. Tell us, what is that wind chill doing?
It's a hawk of a wind chill.
There it is.
It's a hawk of a wind chill.
Yeah. We're going to get the hawk in there now.
Yeah, I like
I'm
it.
going to make a gif out of what you just did. Tracy Hinson.
We happen out now
Please.
on this show. We get a ton of comments. We leave the floor open to our audience to talk about us. And generally, what happens when they critique us, we go into a fetal position in the kitchen and cry for the rest of the day.
I don't know why
you
you would.
recently had
we publicly challenged him to a fist fight outside of our office. Yeah.
That Frank Cusimano, keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, he's bad.
But if you you recently had an interaction with a watcher who had to comment on you during the broadcast, and you kindly responded to said watcher, and I
Mary.
thought,
Grandma
Mary.
Mary.
Oh, Mary.
Listen,
it's
Mary-
always Mary or Dorothy, isn't it?
Mary's been living in O'Fallon for a little too long, and she's got some real problems with other people. And she has nothing better to do than attack nice people
Tell
on
me
TV.
I need to wear a girdle.
She said you need to, and like,
Let's break this down.
Let's
How
really
does it?
break
Is it
it
a
down.
handwritten letter that comes in?
It was
is
an
it
email.
it was
It was an email. Look at her. Her grandson must have set her up on email.
It was like and her email address was like grandma, a couple numbers afterwards at AOL.com.
look at that comment.
It's an
Seriously.
AOL
It was an
account. You
AOL.
should have known.
And
Okay,
that's
so
bold. Yeah,
okay,
here
so
it
we
is.
have the.
Do you
we
ever
have it
watch
here.
yourself giving the weather report? Seems that you need to get a girdle for your stomach overhang, which shortens the front of your dresses. Today was the first time I have noticed this. I've not noticed this. Maybe you should wear a top that covers the bulge in your
The
stomach.
bulge in your I'm sorry,
And-
this is too.
And I don't even like to.
Let's
we
let's
talk
let's
about
talk
it.
about things Mary hasn't done in her life.
But
Let's talk about some qualifications that I would assume about her that you didn't. You didn't attack really. What did you
No.
say?
Well, I love food, and I'm not giving that up.
I love that
I'm
response.
not giving it
All
up.
right.
You know, my sister is like, she's not the opposite of me, but she's just like the super trim version
Right.
of me.
Right.
And she eats like a cup of quinoa with peas for lunch. And that doesn't sound good to me.
Right,
I don't really
right.
want to do
No,
that.
we're not
She
trying
gets
to
up
do
at 4:30 in the morning to work out, and that's not me.
Yeah.
So I try to maintain a healthy weight. Sometimes, every now and then, I'll incorporate vegetables into my diet, and I call it good enough.
Yeah.
Do you, and there's your tweet there, which was very nice. Yes, I do watch my hair check, though I will not be shoving myself into a girdle. I like pasta, bread, and cheese too much to obsess over my weight. I like my body, and that's all that really matters.
Love Tracy.
more
Hashtag
fat
no more fat shaming. Yeah, that's an appropriate response to those things, and we can actually kind of take note of that. All kidding aside, throwing out just an honest response in that situation wasn't rude. It wasn't lashing out or anything, but it resonated with so many people. Like, did that make you feel a certain type of way that you were essentially helping people by? I mean, listen, you talk for a living. Pretty engaging person. You talk to people all the time. Probably didn't feel like you were doing anything that wild. And then it turns into this huge motivating thing.
Huge. And I really didn't get any responses from, I didn't get anyone who sided with Mary after that post, which I was
Right.
really surprised
Right.
about.
Because you handle it like a pro. Maybe if you were a little meaner, you would have had to be like, well, take it easy. Maybe there's
Take
some,
it easy,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Oh. And the other thing, too, is I really only put it out there because I was hoping viewers would stop writing comments in like this. Because some
Right.
of my coworkers, they take it much harder than I do.
course.
And I've
Yeah.
seen that. And it ruins people's days, or they really seem to care about it. And I don't care as much. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put this out there, and hopefully people
Right.
stop writing their local news people about they don't like their hair, or they don't like their dress,
Right.
or they don't like their belly.
it's so strange to me because like with a lot of men, you'll see, I kind of want to do this. I want to work with the Blues, and I want to have like whoever tweets like one of the Blues players like, oh, you're playing like a pansy or something. Like, I want to have the two of them in the same room together, and I want to moderate. And I'm like, 5'7" dude from Oakville, you're now sitting next to a professional athlete that's 240 pounds and could snap you in two. Would you like to say this again? Like, talk about it. I think it's funny on the male end. On the ladies' end, I feel like it's almost more personal or attacking, and it's so strange that people take time out of their day to do that.
And what's interesting too, because we get comments from men every now and then as well, and I respond back to every single comment, good or bad. And the men usually write back saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like they'll say something that they didn't like my dress or something. They're like, "Oh, like I'm sorry, my mom bought that for me," or something, you know.
And they're like, "Oh, that's
and
a real
then they're
person."
Like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I actually really liked the way it looked on you." I'm like, "Really? But did you? Because just a moment ago you said you didn't."
Right.
So
the women
strange.
almost never respond back.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What do you do when guys DM you?
Oh, man. I'm like, hey, sir, I'm not that Travis Terrell.
Oh,
or
okay.
like,
Gotcha.
Hey, man, you in good shape.
Okay.
So that's generally what I say. But
Nice.
Other than that, I don't. But I thought you handled it very well. Very, very good for you, because I don't understand how people can get the gall to do.
No,
it's
it's
a
strange, and
line,
whether
and
it's
I
whether
just
it's an
find that
opinion or anything, and I'm not even saying like people could roast you. Like if you looked silly on a newscast,
you don't get to but you
somebody
don't,
throw a joke at
but
you.
you don't get to like. My thing is, you shouldn't be able. I don't know. I don't know that if you're like, to your point. I think if you're going to do it, obviously not only put your name on there, but I just think people, when they come from behind
Social media-
avatars on
yeah.
social media, I just don't think that's.
There's a strange layer.
It's a
of
very
anonymity
strange
behind
layer
it,
there,
yeah.
and then that's an also an unnecessary thing to write into something. Like to take the time to send that. Like I hate emailing people. Period on business.
Me too.
Let alone
Right?
emailing people something that unnecessary.
Sometimes it takes me like a day and a half to call my mom back.
Man,
like
look.
I don't have time for this kind of stuff. And then you're gonna take
You don't have
time
for
to
an
email.
That
and
just
meteorologist.
seems like, wow, that's you really went around the bend
And
to be
she had
very
to
rude to
find
someone.
my email
yeah,
and
to
all
find,
that,
and
you
yeah,
know?
that's a stretch to me. I just find that
It's
amazing.
a little bit of a process that
Right.
good old Mary went through,
Yeah.
but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, absolutely. But if she only knew you were a wine country rodeo queen, I think she'd have checked herself.
That's a
She
good point.
might have. I'd love to meet her.
Let's get to the KSDK dirt. That's why we brought
Yep,
you in
let's
here
get in.
for.
We are the number one source for local media
No
rumors.
doubt.
Yeah.
Now I've heard of heat between Chester and Anthony Slaughter. Is that what's going on? Is that why the two had to be separated? Go ahead, please dive as deep as you want into it.
She's skating the line between like, are these idiots gonna get me in trouble?
Are
And,
you
like, yeah.
serious? Because I
Yeah.
don't know of anything.
that'd be
I
hilarious
call
if there was real
Chester
beef.
Professor Chester.
Okay.
Because he is so sharp.
He's so sharp, and he'd come on here with very calculated responses. He always has a very calculated response to
Right.
everything you say to Chester. And I call Scott Saint Scott because he really is a saint.
Oh.
And Anthony's a clown, but he's my friend. So
Can I say, you guys are also the best dressed newscast, like of all the channels in St. Louis. You guys really.
Do you keep
are
like a
sharp.
spreadsheet of
I
like which
kinda
have
have
channels
my
that-
seen
power
Ahmad's
rankings.
recent, like he's added the little like flower silk boutonniere
No.
looking thing. Oh
No.
yeah, Ahmad's stylish.
Okay,
And
maybe
the
we
sports
need to-
department. He's one to keep an eye on.
And I
Okay.
keep bringing Rennie up, but Rennie's facial hair is sharp, like
All right.
the black, the salt
See,
and pepper. I'm like,
And
that's
his
what I wanna be.
watches. Do you
And
pay
his
attention to
watches.
Rennie's watch
Woo!
game? That one, he has this one watch. Okay, to me it looks kind of like graffiti, but I'm not really sure what the art is on it.
It's not for us. I
It's
don't
like a
think.
pound. It's a pound.
really-
It
No,
really
yeah.
is. I was like, Rennie, this thing is huge. She's like, pick it up.
I was gonna accuse you of just having an affinity for Rennie because he came in and did a piece on you.
Well, Rennie, of course, he did a
Yeah.
story on me recently. I have done things in Hollywood. Chris talked about my celebrity. I don't like to bring it up. I'm not about that life. I don't do the socials.
But he secretly
like as a
is.
millennial, I don't like to do the tweets. I'm all about being with my people. I like to take public transportation. I like to go to the zoo by myself.
Gardner, our producer, you look perplexed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you need to jump in on this one?
No, I mean, I just zoned out when he was talking.
No.
I
Do
was
you do that
trying
when
to
people are
think-
blatantly lying?
Yeah, I just kind of
Okay.
zoned out, and I started
Okay.
thinking about Rennie, and wondering how many pairs of socks he owns. Because he is a sock
He's a
fan,
sock
too.
connoisseur. Sharp.
He's just a dressing connoisseur.
Yeah,
He
he is.
likes all the accessories.
Yeah.
I made the mistake the other day of telling Frank Cusimano, who's a sharp dresser at times.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'd call it cheesy. at
Yeah,
times as well.
I saw him, and this was after I convinced him to unblock me on Twitter the
Mm-hmm.
other day.
we have a rich, complicated history with Frank.
Frank and I have worked together, and he and I have a fun rivalry that goes back and forth. And I said, "Hey, did you get that suit at Savile Row?" And he goes, "Sam Cavato." And I'm like, "You snob,
Diva. Yeah, that makes sense.
Frank, come on."
Oh,
God.
I'm
Frank.
like, "Oh, looks good."
Frank always calls when he's like, "How's your little boyfriend?" And Gary's 6'4" and wears like a size 14 shoe.
Frank is calling
Frank's always
someone
like,
little
"How's your
boyfriend?"
little boyfriend? boyfriend.
Frank,
you give him a
on
kiss goodbye?
5'2" of Frank Cusimano's calling someone's
gonna
little
say.
boyfriend.
Okay,
Yeah.
Coos played basketball at DeSmet
Yeah,
with
okay.
a good team all around him, and now he thinks she's calling. No.
I'm
No.
not
By the
having
way,
that.
look how Chris perked up when you said your fiance was 6'4". Chris loves tall
I respect
people.
a tall guy.
Only people
yeah.
Chris respects. If you're over 6'3", he'll talk. He'll like,
Yeah,
he's
I'm like,
friendly.
okay, yeah. And you said a size 14 shoe?
Yeah.
We could be shoe bros.
Really?
Yeah, the size 14, man. Nobody's ever, I don't get to trade shoes with people.
Gary's going to his first rodeo next year with me for
Getting
an
boots, he's gonna
anniversary
spend
year. All the queens
$260
get together.
on boots.
I'm looking at cowboy
That's a lot of
boots
leather.
for him, and I'm like, these look like clown shoes. They're
Yeah,
so big.
They are. They are.
And he insists on wearing shorts, and I just know it's going to be a
Oh,
questionable look when he once he
nice.
gets there.
Wow.
Did you say that's a reunion?
Every 5 years,
Oh,
all the
boy.
queens get
I'm
together.
learning
For a
This is
reunion.
so phenomenal to
Wait,
me.
can we cover this? This is
We
a good
have
opportunity.
to. I
You're
feel like we
single,
need
single
to.
guy.
You
yeah.
should come out. It's
Yeah.
a lot of
I
fun.
feel like
Where
I
is
sell
it?
this documentary
The
to Netflix.
California Rodeo Salinas. So it's in
Okay, is
Salinas,
there like,
California.
This
is there
is I know,
is
right?
everything on the up and up, or is there like a seedy underbelly of the rodeo queens? I bet I could find
No,
something.
we are. Let's see. Our oldest queen, well, she just passed away, so she was from 1936.
Oh my
who comes to this
gosh.
reunion? So
That's
now
amazing.
our oldest queen is Pat Garlinger, and she was from 1938.
Wow, that's fantastic.
She was the queen in 1938. So
What
Do the math on that.
is happening? This
Yeah.
is what is this world?
So-
I want to
okay,
know
so we
more about
couldn't-
this world.
So it would be classic. We couldn't get a Real Housewives vibe out of this, could we?
I don't think
There
so.
wouldn't be any drama.
No, we're all friends because we've all won. So all the drama's behind
Okay.
us.
Right. It's just a bunch of champions hanging out.
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of is.
Right. And then what if?
yes, girl, we did this.
What if
I'm
like?
assuming they sound like that.
What if rodeo queen runner-up from 1996 tries to show up? Are you all like,
Ooh.
I don't think
yeah,
so.
what if 86 tries to show like, oh, hey,
Uh-huh.
girl.
Yeah.
No, we would. It's a nice world. Like, for
Look
example,
at us trying to create drama.
the
and
girl,
it's not working.
the girl who Grace, who is the queen after me. So I was
know
2012.
Grace,
She
yep.
was 2013. Good old
Sure.
Grace Tobias. I'm actually invited to her wedding, and I beat Grace in 2012.
Are you
And
gonna?
we are good friends.
Are you gonna say that during the ceremony?
You
Are you gonna
should.
remind everybody? Like, I mean, she's okay, but yeah.
She was runner up to me. But,
Okay.
It's a night. We're good friends.
Okay.
We really are.
We
Queen
gotta find a way to
sisters.
like to either host this or have a.
Gary's gonna need some friends.
He is. Oh yeah, he's gonna be.
I lived in Kansas City for a couple of years. We could kind of talk about that. I could kind of give him the lay of the land.
Just don't get him started on barbecue.
Oh, is he a big barbecue? guy?
Oh, he won't try St. Louis barbecue.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
Gary.
hey,
And
hey,
I'm
hey,
really
all right,
offended
hey,
by it.
Hey,
Better than Kansas City, by the way. We don't need. You don't need a.
But we
a
don't
sloppy
need,
bucket
yeah.
of sauce all over your stuff. We let the meat.
We don't need to
talk.
tell
He
everybody. We
refuses
already
to try
know.
it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I thought Gary was all right, but now I kind of.
I know, you
second
can-
thoughts.
We should have him on to try St.
Okay.
Louis barbecue.
We could Skype-
we should have
we
a blind taste test and it'll all be St. Louis barbecue.
Do that. We should
Yeah, that's good. I like
absolutely.
that
Next
plan.
time he's in, let us know. We'll get you
This
back
is
in.
phenomenal. Aha! Gotcha, Gary.
Sucker.
Before you head out,
love that.
I want to know. Okay, so we got weather stuff, everything else. The horse thing's super interesting to me.
Of course it is.
Obviously. Can we get Travis out to meet Star and maybe, I don't know, maybe we can get him to do a lap around your
Yes.
arena or something like that?
Yes. We also have a zebra and we have a
Okay,
Clydesdale.
first of
So
all,
we have
stop.
choices.
Damn it, you're getting more interesting here. All right, Trace. You have a pet.
It's not mine. It's
Okay.
the farm.
No. First of all, do you know about zebras? You can't break a zebra. They're not going to be nice.
Einstein's
me.
not. Einstein. Okay, I wouldn't say Einstein is nice, but he's pretty. He's
If
pretty
he were a regular
amicable.
horse, if he didn't have those stripes and he was just your horse, would you be like, this is a bad horse?
Maybe.
See? Gotcha. No, but
Maybe.
zebras, like, famously can't really be trained.
He was so they've had him since he was a baby,
Oh.
and little kids ride him at their pony parties, and I've ridden Einstein, and
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Maybe I need to meet
Travis, you could
Einstein.
ride a zebra?
Oh, no, I've
Yeah.
been waiting.
Wait, and there's a Clydesdale, too?
we have a Clydesdale. His name's Cadillac.
Oh, I can ride a Cadillac named Clydesdale. Oh, let's go.
See,
You'd
I'm
be
gonna,
just like the preacher at
It
the
will.
church.
It will be.
I'm
All
gonna-
right.
I'm going to get this on video so she can't be like, I was just, I was playing a part. So we can bring
No.
Travis and a camera guy out there?
Yes,
This is
I
happening.
really mean it.
This is happening. All right.
Anytime you want to
Tracy
go.
takes Travis to the farm. This is
Oh,
gonna
that
be
is
good.
gonna be good. I
We've
love.
got baby goats right now.
Okay, baby goats are. I'll
There
come out.
are-
I'll come out today. Like this is a big.
They are
Do you know what you call,
cute.
what do you call a baby goat?
LeBron James.
Because he's the greatest.
Because he's the greatest of all time. And, okay.
They're called kids, you dummy.
Oh,
kids.
okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
kids,
I got
yeah.
that. Yeah, sure. Okay.
And before we scare her off, what do you have? Are you doing anything in the community? Like, are you part of an event coming up? How should people follow it? Should they follow the website for mac and cheese? Obviously, tune in and watch on KSDK.
Yeah.
What's the best way to keep up with you?
At TValWX. If you like animal pictures, it's probably best to follow me on Instagram. More weather and Twitter is usually a little bit more, I wouldn't say business, but I'll cover news and I'll cover weather. But Instagram, a lot of animal pictures on that. Coming up here, let's see. Next year, I was actually nominated by the Missouri Eating Disorder Association for the Advocacy Award. So I will be at their gala.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
So, thank you.
That
So
has to feel so good. That's great. Yeah, because you did. Your message amplified, and they took note.
And what was so nice, too, is KSDK is very supportive. So they've made a bunch. So there's actually another event coming up here on Monday. It's the Me Leadership Conference from Megan Meyer Foundation.
Oh, she's
And
Tina. Her mom runs it. Tina.
Yes.
Yeah, she's coming in next week.
Oh,
so,
wow.
For an interview.
there you go. So I'll be with them on Monday. And KSDK has donated, they've come up with these mac and cheese baskets
Get out of here.
for these kind of events.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it's like an auction, and you get two
that's so
of
cool.
these mac and cheese spoons, because I have these mac and cheese spoons that Al Roker commented on.
Oh, nice.
On the Today Show, I have these custom mac and cheese spoons for every time I eat mac and cheese. So KSDK has like 2 of these spoons in their packages with a bunch of mac and cheese and a bowl and a signed picture and a couple other things.
That's
so.
fantastic. Yeah.
That's
so
cool to
people
have their
keep an eye on
support.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. What's the best additive to mac? Like, if you're going to go just non-traditional mac and cheese, what are we talking? A smoked meat, some kind of vegetable? Like, what are you throwing in? You get one thing to throw into your mac and cheese outside of the noodle and cheese, obviously.
Okay, this is a hard one.
Didn't think this was going to be this kind of interview, did you?
I really love ground beef with mac and cheese.
Listen to
no, I
the
haven't
farm
had the
girl.
What are you
Holy
doing in?
cow. I'm going to go with a smoked pork.
Nice.
Yeah, you
Good.
didn't see that
Had
coming,
brisket on top of mac and cheese too,
Oh,
and
I've
that's
had
been
that. No,
that's
that's
been
been very
really
good.
good.
This is
I'm
getting
gonna throw a little
awkward.
andouille sausage.
Ooh.
Andouille sausage.
That's a
with it.
nice pull, Gardner. And you can't say a menthol cigarette.
And Dewey's not bad. If I don't go, can I go something outside meat? Like, say
Please.
I'm making something that I got at the store quick.
Right.
I might do sriracha on it.
Oh, you just go extras. Okay.
just a
I like
little-
it.
Just
I
the
like
extra
the
bite.
move,
Kick
man.
to
This-
it.
yeah.
there
This
you
is some
go.
I would even
advances,
accept like
man.
just blue cheese crumbles or something to
Oh,
change
there
it
we
up.
go.
Actually, that makes me wonder, like, if it's like a homemade type or maybe even out. Tracy, what is the best cheese or your favorite cheese to have mixed in?
This is a good question on the cheese.
She didn't squirm
on
once
now.
when we were talking
She
about
did not.
weather, her fiance, anything else. And then
Gotta
my
think
mac
on
and
this.
cheese
This is big.
sweating.
Okay, I have one of the most interesting mac and cheeses as far as cheese type goes. One of the most interesting mac and cheeses I've had, like a standout, was in St. Helena at Brick Restaurant, and it was a goat cheese mac and cheese. And it was little teeny tiny noodles, which I really appreciated, in like a casserole style form. So I really liked that.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think a very sharp cheddar. So like Trader Joe's is unexpected cheddar, or I'm a big Trader Joe's fan. I love Trader Joe's.
Okay.
If Joe could cater my wedding, I would have Trader Joe do it. But the caramelized onion unexpected cheddar is what I've mixed in, and it has been a delight. And it's cheap. I think it's $2.99.
And do you have a noodle that you prefer? Like, say,
Well, I really don't like. I have a noodle that I hate when I go out to eat
Okay.
mac and cheese, and it's a cavatappi noodle. It is
Okay.
so overused, and I feel like chefs are just trying to make their mac and cheese look fancy by
I'm with
using
you
this
there.
noodle type. I just like an elbow noodle. That's good, or a wagon wheel. That's kind of cool.
Whoa.
You know? I get really excited
Oh,
when I see those. So
and I had one other thing. What's your favorite type of weather?
Oh, that's hard. Okay. I think the weather I love to be out in the most and that I get the most excited about, I love big snow events. I love it to be snowy.
No.
I love winter.
So do they send you out when it's like that, or do you stay in the studio?
I almost make them send me out.
Shut up.
I love
Really?
winter weather. I love the clothes.
Oh, no. I'm going to fight. I was like, who are these people?
If
I
it goes
literally-
below 60 degrees, Travis, for the next week,
Oh.
it's like, man, I might not be in tomorrow.
man,
I don't know.
man. It's what, 42 outside? Oh God.
She loves
know-
the hawk.
You know that feeling when you walk outside and it's like the building's been warm and then it's cold outside and it kind of like stings your face? I love it.
Nothing.
I
And
love
you
it.
said snow and all. Oh no. Why is it so bright? Oh God, turn it down.
I think it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And then you like leave, you go leave 5 feet past your house. You're like, I heard it. Get out of my face.
No,
I
when it
love
snows,
it. Don't you feel like a hero though when you walk through it?
I feel like I just went to the prison yard. I just got shake with the wind. I'm bleeding. My lips are cracked. Like, no, what was it?
Travis is talking to random people on the street. Go on without me. I'm
I don't know.
Save yourself.
I wish.
That's how I feel in the summertime.
See, I wish I was a better person in the winter. Like, I tell family, my friends, loved ones, I'm like, I love you all. I care about you. So the words that come out of my mouth, do not take it personally. But I hate you all because it's 13 degrees outside. Do
Call
not
me in
talk to
March.
Yes.
Really?
I am not a.
Now, do you dress inappropriately in this weather?
Look at
Maybe
this
that's
idiot.
the problem.
Look at this
I've had
he's
this
wearing.
on since like for a month now. I'm not. Now you ain't sneaking up on me, Cole.
That's the
You
smell
ain't
in
gonna do-
here.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what it is. That and a few other things. But yes, definitely. No, I am. All the white snow. Ooh, you.
I
Oh, you
love
had
it.
me at the mac and cheese and then hit me with the snow.
I love
As a kid, it was great because then you're like, oh, you're white for your school to come across.
But I
and-
am your
And I
Forest
never
Park.
experienced
That's
that school day. We
right.
didn't have the school day.
Perfect weather, yeah.
Right. Oh, that's right.
But it seems like a very exciting idea.
It
The
was-
school
it-
day and it rolling
School
across
day, like,
the screen.
it was
gets
like winning the
canceled.
lottery. It's like, come on, yeah! And as a kid, you're stupid, so you don't know your school district. So you're just like, I didn't see my school name on there. We gotta
Oh,
go to.
man.
Your mom's like, it's the district, idiot. You don't have to go to school. Love you, mom.
Oh my gosh,
What would we
Tracy.
do without
what
moms?
would we do with our mom?
So much fun having you in here. We'll have
Thank
to
you
do it
so
again.
much.
We'll
Thank
get
you
the
so
we'll get the
much.
farm covered properly.
Oh,
we
that'll
will.
be good.
I'll be out there to
In
yeah,
the
this is-
spring, of course. If it's snowing, I don't
wanna hear it.
You don't play with a zebra in the snow. That don't feel right.
Star is a big blanket. You guys will be fine.
True.
I
Check
think we
out-
picked the coldest day of the year to bring them out, huh?
I like that. This could be interesting. Catch Tracy on KSDK. Follow her online. Check out the Instagram and come back anytime. It's an absolute blast.